Everybody on the internet has been losing their minds over carnivore babies, carnivore kids, this whole meat-based eating, protein-focused approach with children. But rather than getting swept up in all of the craziness and arguing about it, I figured I'd just go ahead and create an option for parents who might want to consider that protein-focused eating for their kids, especially if they've already been on a standard American diet. So I created the animal-based vanilla wafer cookie. It's really good, it's really animal-based, and it tastes, I think, as good or better than the real thing. It's very simple, it's a whole lot of fun to make, and it's going to change your ability to take your kids and move them in the direction of eating a little bit more protein and fat if that is something that you choose to do in your house. For the little kids and the big kids alike, let's go ahead and make animal-based Nilla wafers today on Chris Cookin' Nashville. This is a very straightforward recipe we're going to do today, and it tastes fantastic. And whether you're a kid or a big kid at heart, this one is going to bring back all of the nostalgia of the standard American diet junk, but without the blood sugar spikes, the insulin crashes, and all of the junk and the inflammation that we don't want from the flour and the seed oils and the sugar and everything else that is used to make that standard version. Let's go ahead and go through our ingredients. We're gonna put it together. I'm gonna show you how you bake it, and I'm actually gonna give you two different versions of this so you can have a couple of different outcomes, and Ash and I at the end are gonna let you know which one we actually prefer so you can customize this to your family's needs and tastes. Let's go ahead and get it all going, and let's do some animal-based vanilla wafers. Ingredient number one and the base of our recipe today is cream cheese. This cream cheese is our fat base. It brings creaminess and helps carry flavor. And bonus, the animal fats help kids absorb fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, and K2, which are the ones you don't get in the junk version of these from the grocery store. Our next ingredient is allulose. Now, you can use whatever kind of keto sweetener you like, but if you do not use allulose, at least partially, you will not get quite the same browning effect that I'm going to get, so just keep that in mind if you choose to swap this out for another keto sweetener. Allulose is the magic here. It's basically unlike erythritol or any of those other keto sweeteners and caramelizes, very similar to real sugar. So you get the golden color and the real cookie snap without the sugar spike, and that fuels the Maillard reaction at a lower temperature than sugar does. And because we can fuel that Maillard reaction at a lower temperature, we can get a beautiful color without over baking and drying these out. Our next ingredient, surprise, surprise, on the Chris Cooking Nashville channel is unflavored gelatin. Gelatin is not just Jell-O, which kids usually love that kind of stuff too. It's actually a collagen protein. When the gelatin bakes, it actually forms a protein network that holds everything together like gluten would in the flour, which is why we use it here. Plus, it's good for joint, skin, and gut health. And if you want your kids to feel good and be as healthy as possible, those collagen proteins of gelatin is a really great way to help support all of their different health needs. Now, don't forget, as we're going through all of these different ingredients, the amounts and the process is going to be explained in detail on the recipe card, which is free on my website at chriscookingnashville.com. I have linked the recipe card page of the website in the description box, so you can click that link and go straight to the recipe card page. You can download and print that recipe card out for free, save it in the kitchen, and maybe even a bonus idea, pull the kids into the kitchen and have them help you make this, because when they start getting invested in creating their own food, they start to appreciate not only the flavors, but the health benefits of eating a proper human diet that much more. Our next ingredient is whey protein, and this is where we're going to actually diverge a little bit. I'm going to do one version of this with whey protein concentrate, which has a little bit less protein and a little bit higher fat and leftover dairy carb ratio. But I'm also going to do a version of this which is whey protein isolate, and I expect we're going to get a little bit drier, snappier version of this from the isolate than we do the concentrate, because the isolate has most of that fat and trace dairy carb completely removed, and it tends to have more of a drying effect. We're going to go ahead and add in whey protein, and we'll tell you whether we like the concentrate or the isolate better and what the differences are, so you can decide which version you would like to make for your family. The whey protein here is not just something we would put in a shake. It's actually really helpful for this recipe because when it is heated, it actually denatures and cross-links the proteins, which is what gives us that crisp wafer texture. And bonus, whey is actually packed with immune-boosting compounds like lactoferrin and immunoglobulins. It's going to help support everybody's digestion and their immune system to have that animal-based protein fueling everything they're trying to do in their body on a daily basis. Next is an egg. I'm using a large egg, and I'm using an egg because we need those egg proteins to bind this mixture together. Eggs have this very unique property where they are liquid when they are raw, and then they turn solid when they are cooked and heated to the proper temperature. That unique protein characteristic of an egg is what makes baked goods so interesting. And it's one of the things that makes the egg not just a superfood, but a super tool in the kitchen. Another great benefit of eggs is that it brings lecithin from the yolk, which helps emulsify the fat and the protein so it all bakes evenly. Essentially, the egg is nature's perfect binding agent, and that's why you see it in so many different recipes. And it is a superfood, so it's good for you all the way around. The last important ingredients that you're going to have are baking soda and lemon juice, or if you want, you could use white vinegar or some other acid similarly, but the little bit of flavor you get from that lemon juice actually really supports this tasting like the real thing. This is the secret to our rise, because baking soda and lemon juice react to make carbon dioxide bubbles, and that's the lift that keeps these light instead of dense hockey pucks. This is a natural leavening trick, and it's what helps us avoid using things like gluten and some of the other junk that comes in those standard American diet versions of these snack foods that they use to create that rise. Now, the only other thing I'm going to use is some flavoring, and this is optional because the cookies will technically work without this, but it wouldn't taste much like a Nilla wafer if you didn't put some vanilla in. So I have vanilla and a little tiny splash of almond extract mixed in with my lemon juice. Now you could also add in any other flavorings you might like, but the vanilla is going to give us the Nilla wafer flavor we're expecting. The lemon juice gives us the slight citrus undertone, which Nilla wafers actually have if you ever taste them that way and really think about it. And then the almond extract is going to give us just a little bit of a flavor on the back of the palate, which is going to make this taste a little more like a cookie that came from a factory. And the only other flavor compound that I'm going to add in is 1 tablespoon of butter powder. It is completely optional, but it gives you a really nice buttery finish to these cookies. So once everything has been mixed together in the proper order, which I explain on the recipe card so you know exactly how to mix these together and avoid clumps, we're going to be ready to make some Nilla wafer cookies. Once the mixture has been fully combined and the baking soda is in there, we're going to let it sit for about 5 minutes. What that's going to do is let the baking soda react with the acid in the mixture. It's going to create those CO2 bubbles, which is what's going to give us that lift and the crisp and the soft cookie texture. After about 5 minutes, that will be done processing, and I'm going to actually put the mixture inside of a piping bag. Now, you could use a spoon to spoon these onto your baking tray, but I find the piping bag is a whole lot easier, and they're really inexpensive. Just put it in, clip the tip, squeeze it out onto the baking sheet, and then you can throw it away. It's just a lot easier for cleanup for me personally, and I find it a lot less frustrating. I'll link the ones down below that I am using, but however you like to get this done, put this on your baking sheet, and we're going to make some Nilla wafers. And that, my friends, is the animal-based, almost carnivore Nilla Wafers.
Yum.
So we have two different kinds. We have the larger ones here that I made with the whey concentrate. And then we have the smaller ones that I made with the whey isolate. So we'll try them, see if there's a difference, if we like one over the other, kind of see what we think. So let's give them a shot. We'll start with the whey concentrate.
Don't mind if I do.
And I dehydrated these for about an hour. If you like them crispier, you can go longer. If you want to keep them softer, you can do it shorter. It's really up to you. And if you don't have a dehydrator, put it in your oven on a rack over a cookie sheet at the lowest setting. You can dry it out that way too.
They look just like wafers, so props on the appearance.
Yep.
I like the little bit of golden brownness.
Yep.
Let's taste it. Oh, wow. Wow.
Yep, they're a little crispy, they're a little soft, they're a little chewy, just like a normal wafer would be.
The flavor is so good. It really does remind me just like a vanilla wafer. It's crispy, it's yet soft. I'm on my second one. These are incredibly good. What a great snack. Also, this recipe really was really easy, simple, like no time.
Yeah.
I also think this would be a great one to get the kids in the kitchen because it is pretty simple and straightforward. Make these and put them in like their, school lunches and stuff. These are fantastic, babe. Like seriously, I probably need to try these other ones.
They will feel slightly soft when they first come out of the oven or the dehydrator. Once they come to room temperature, they do firm up some. So if they feel a little soft and you don't want them to get too crispy, but you think they're not going to be firm enough yet, pull one out, let it come to room temperature before you say, oh no, I'm going to leave it in for like another 30 minutes or something, because they will firm up as they sit and come to room temperature. So these are the whey isolate.
Okay.
Instead of the whey concentrate. Slightly different ratio. It's the exact same recipe, except you use a slightly different amount of the isolate versus the concentrate. I'll make sure that info is on the recipe card for you so that there's no confusing which is which or how much to use of each. So,
which is really cool because I know in a lot of your recipe videos recently, you've actually done the whey protein isolate and then also other recipes with the concentrate. So depending on what you have on hand, you can make this recipe either or.
Absolutely.
Like
and
it.
I don't know if one is going to be way better than the other or not, but let's find out.
Let's do it. Oh, snap. Come on now. Dang. These are also very, very, very good. The thing that I've noticed between the two, so they're both incredible. They both have the right flavor of a Nilla wafer. The texture is slightly different though, for sure. You can definitely taste it. These are a little bit more crispier, almost like a crunchy, crispy cookie.
It has a crispier outer skin. I also think the inside of these is more bready.
Yes.
And more grainy, very much like the ones that would be in the box at the store. I actually think this is probably a little closer to the texture that you would get from the ones at the store. They're both really good, but this is maybe on the inside a little more of that bready flour grainy texture.
Yes.
This one is maybe just a little bit smoother and softer on the inside. Either of them would work just fine. Now, for those of you out there wondering, oh, I have egg white powder. Could I use egg white powder instead of the whey protein? No, do not do that. You will create styrofoam hockey pucks and that will not be getting good. So it must be whey protein, either isolate or concentrate, or, mix and match, choose what you like. This is a great way to take kids that have been eating a standard American diet, maybe they love Nilla wafers, and give them an alternative that helps them start moving in the direction of eating more protein, more animal-based, more proper human diet foods.
I was really hungry when we sat down to do this taste test. I can tell I'm getting really full. These are so packed with like the protein and everything that I'm like, oh yeah. It's hard to eat a lot of these, truthfully.
Well, there you go, guys. That is the almost carnivore, the animal-based Nilla wafers. It's a really simple recipe. Everything that I used, including the whey isolate and the whey concentrate that I have right now, I'll link both of those below. There's a lot of those out there. If you want the cleanest version you can possibly get, look at the ingredient list and make sure there's nothing on there but the whey protein. If you are okay with some of the more budget-friendly ones that have tiny little bits of things like the sunflower lecithin or something in them, that's fine too. Any of those will work, but I'll link the ones down below that I used for you, along with the piping bags, any of the other gear that might be helpful. All of my other links are down below. Our private community of the band, where you can get extra recipes and more support and all kinds of cool behind the scenes content, all down there in the description box. So make sure you thumbs up and subscribe, Tell everybody about this video, share this with someone who has some kids who might be able to benefit from something like this. Go and make this recipe and enjoy it. We appreciate all of you guys being here. We love every single one of you. This is Chris cooking Nashville, the beautiful Ash Taylor. You guys eat your meat. Now your animal-based Nilla wafers. Love your life. We'll see you here in the kitchen for more crazy recipes to help with your kids. And if you like Nilla wafers made out of animal products like this, you've got to check out this video right over here.
I was feeling really left out. I didn't have a cool, colorful shirt. Put it in the comments. Meat shirt, dinosaur with tacos. Which is your favorite?
Which one's better?
Man, maybe I should start wearing these. These are comfy.